Why, hello there, Minnesota Vikings fans. Jacob here, and you know what time it is. Vikings, Packers, round 2 from US Bank Stadium. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. So yeah, oh baby, week 17. Vikings, Packers, US Bank Stadium, 325, America's game of the week, baby. Yes, yes, and more yes. Because, well, as we all know, Vikings Packers is a very, very entertaining matchup. I mean, the fan bases pretty much intermingle with each other on a daily basis, throughout the upper Midwest and, hell, even around the country, for that matter, and even some around the world. But for the most part, if you grew up in Vikings territory, odds are you know quite a few Packers fans. And heck, even if you live in Wisconsin and grew up as a Packers fan, chances are you've seen plenty of purple. So this is always one of those times a year where it's going to be intense. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. It's also going to be a very, very hard-fought matchup. So yeah, let's go ahead and break it down. So, what do both teams have to play for going into Week 18 and going into the playoffs? Well, honestly, the Vikings have a chance at that number 1 spot and the NFC North. But the Vikings have to win this week, and then travel to Detroit and, hope that basically next week actually means something here because, well, if that's the case, odds are we're probably going to be the Sunday night featured game for all of the marbles. So, yeah. Nothing would make me more excited than to see that. However, though, for the Packers, who clinched their playoff spot after just absolutely mollywomping the Saints, or what I should say, the lack of, or just basically what's left of the Saints at this point, because, you want to talk about a drumming of epic proportions here. But anyway, regardless, with all that out of the way here, the Packers would love nothing more than to play spoil. Because odds are they're probably either going to be the 5 or more than likely the 6th seed. But we'll just kind of have to wait and see here, because if the Packers do somehow pull off the victory against the Vikings, then there's a chance that whoever loses the matchup, then there's possibly a chance that the Vikings could fall to the 6th seed or this or that. I don't know. It would be very confusing. There'd be a lot of, tiebreakers and scenarios and all that stuff. But, again, we'll worry about that when we have to, because there's still a lot of football to be played here. But both teams are hungry. Both teams are on hot streaks. Both teams are arguably playing their best football at just the right time. But let's go ahead and dive into some of the matchups here. Because last time we played Green Bay in Green Bay, we had a 28-0 lead, kind of right around halftime, until Jalen Naylor tried to field a punt, and, well, let's just say the Vikings had to hold on for dear life. Granted, they got it done at the end of the day, but did that game end up being closer than it should have. And again, kudos to Jordan Love. He's basically playing effort ball. But now that he's actually healthy, now that their offense is moving, and of course Josh Jacobs is living up to, well, the reason why they signed him to that massive contract. And Aaron Jones is living up to his contract here in Minnesota. So yeah, that's actually going to be an interesting matchup to see which running back gets going. Because in my opinion, the running game is going to dictate the play action for both teams. Because if Jordan Love is in a rhythm, our defense is going to have to either bring some more heat or just, I don't know, because Jordan Love has shown the ability to just go out there and absolutely ball, but he's also shown the ability to play Brett Favre style, screw it, someone's down there somewhere. Gunslinger mentality. So if we can get to Jordan Love, make him uncomfortable, make him, pay for trying to throw the ball into any area outside of his receivers, then I like our chances. But, as I said before too, this is usually about the time of year where Jordan Love plays his best ball, and our defense, especially zone coverage defense, I mean, good God, I'm pretty sure I could catch most of those balls in our zone coverage. But anyway, regardless, I know that there's been some injuries, I know there's been some concerns and stuff like that, but it does sound like Ivan Pace Jr. may be on his way back, which, believe it or not, would be huge for the run game again. Because it's amazing how much we poo-poo on some of these players until they're not playing, and then you realize just how big, or maybe, intricate would probably be the best word to describe it. How intricate they are to the defense, even if they aren't necessarily the main reason. But anyway, regardless, again, case in point, when Blake Cashman was out for those 3 games, did not end well. We'll just leave it at that. But anyway, so yeah, our defense going up against Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, and the litany of young receivers that know how to get it done at the end of the day. The only thing I'm not 100% sure on is if Christian Watson is going to play or not. I mean, I've heard rumors that, he did suffer a pretty, I don't know if nasty is the right word, but he did suffer an injury against the Saints, and I believe his shoulder arm areas. So, kind of wait and see there, because believe it or not, that actually is a pretty big loss, because that is one of their big-bodied receivers who's not afraid to play in the dirty areas. Even if his hands aren't necessarily 100% there, he's still a pretty dangerous weapon. And then, of course, Tucker Kraft is definitely going to be on my radar, because, again, the Vikings against tight ends, yeah. But anyway. So, yeah, now flipping it over here, how will Sam Darnold attack the Green Bay defense, who is a very opportunistic defense, a very young defense, a very hot and cold defense? Because when they're cold, he could drop 40 on them, but when they're hot, they're like a top 5 defense in the league from a pass rush standpoint, from a secondary standpoint. You pretty much know right away what defense is going to show up for Green Bay. But, yeah, if it's the Green Bay defense of the last few weeks, Sam, whatever you do, don't play reckless, don't play stupid, and for the love of God, offensive line, keep his ass upright. Because there's going to be plenty of old foes that are going to be lined up on the other side that have beaten us like a drum year in and year out for the past several years. Kenny Clark, I'm looking at you. And then, of course, there's a lot of younger guys, too. So, yeah, I'd be curious to see if Jair Alexander actually will be playing in this game, or how much he's playing, because, good God, that guy's been in and out of the lineup for literally the last 2 years. So, and whenever it comes to NFC North opponents, he somehow magically has an injury, in air quotes, because he always loves to talk a big talk, and then usually he gets cooked like a Thanksgiving turkey against whether it be Jordan Addison or Justin Jefferson. But yeah, so again, hopefully the offensive line can keep Sam upright, we can find our weapons, and of course, Aaron Jones' revenge game round 2. Last time he played in Green Bay, he actually had a pretty good game, but he couldn't quite get it in the end zone to do the Lambeau leap. So, we'll just kind of wait and see how that looks coming into this game on Sunday. But again, just get it done. Let's not play stupid. Let's keep these tune-up games going here, because both teams still have a decent amount to play for, even if Green Bay doesn't quite have as much, because chances are they're either going to be the 5 or 6 seed. My money being on the 6 seed at this point. But, yeah, but the Vikings could still overtake the Lions here, and if the 49ers could do us a solid on Monday night and, play spoiler one time, please, I would greatly appreciate that. But yeah, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the penultimate week of the regular season with a lot to play for if you're the Vikings. Because we could go anywhere from the 1 seed to the 5, maybe even the 6 seed, depending on how this game goes. And of course, the Lions, too. How far will they go? The Packers always seem to sneak up out of nowhere. I mean, just ask Dallas last year how that went for them. Oofda. So, their confidence is starting to get up there again. I mean, it's going to be interesting going down the pipe here. And of course, Packers, Vikings is always one of those underrated rivalries in the upper Midwest, especially amongst Vikings fans. And even Packers fans, too. I mean, just look at Tom Grossi's videos. Yeah, you don't have to... He definitely doesn't hide the fact that he despises us. So, you know what? Good. Nothing like a good rivalry. I mean, as long as it's clean and healthy and, not stupid here. Because, well, there are some rivalries that make me go... Okay, it's not that freaking serious. It's a game, yes. Do you want to beat your mortal enemies? Yes. Do you want to beat your rivals? Yes. But do you literally... Anyway. Yeah, I've seen plenty of those videos, and some people just take this, competition way too serious. So. But yeah. Vikings, Packers. Round 2 from U.S. Bank Stadium. Should be a fun one. Should be a good one. And... well, hopefully will set us up for Week 18. But again, we'll talk about Week 18 when we actually get to Week 18 because we still got a massive game in Week 17 at home. Regular season finale at home. Let's see where this takes us. So yeah, I think that'll pretty much conclude this video. But, whew, I'll tell you what. This season has been fun. This season has been exciting. This season has shown me that the future is bright in Minnesota, baby. And nothing would make me happier than to knock the Packers down one more time. So, until we meet again, this is Jacob. Have a good day.